President Kovacs.
Us.
Let's talk about that main event.
Let's talk about the main event. It's not much to talk about because everybody seen that. It was amazing. Ross said he's gonna come and finish Igor again, and that's exactly what he did. So he said he's too good for these guys, and he's not wrong. He's really good, and there was no hesitation on his end. He did an amazing job.
Ross says we need to hire more middleweights or he'll have no one to fight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on it. So he's not wrong there as well. We're hiring more people, but there are some up-and-coming guys who already fought with us. We've seen some interesting things today as well on the other fight.
You're talking about Adrian Hadribia?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
That was something which were not a lot of people expecting to happen. I think Sasha wasn't expecting that as well. I saw he wasn't very happy with the decision. At the same time, everybody thought he's gonna go over Andre, and that did not happen. So good. We're glad to have Andre. I mean, not good for Sasha, but Sasha is also good. It's good to have such a good guys in the division.
And let's talk about the battle of the Brunos.
Man, I mean, when you hear the crowd saying like one more round, and it happens, that's like, it's magic.
That's only in karate combat.
It is. And from now on, we're gonna introduce that after every split decision, we're gonna do an extra round.
Wow.
So yes.
Can we release this video?
Yes.
You just said this right now?
Yeah.
This is news? This is breaking news.
This is breaking news. And this is the reason why, you know, like, because, I mean, Bruno Assis was really, really good. In the second round, it's maybe even 10-8. At the same time, the first round could go either way. The third round, Bruno came back. Bruno Souza. And then the fourth round, Assis got tired a little bit, yes, compared to Souza. And but these guys are so good. They're really top 5 in the division. And the heart and the technique, the skill level they have, and they, you know, like Alex Pereira was behind me and he was super impressed, and that's a guy who's impossible to impress. So that shows how good that fight was.
Let's also talk about the women's division.
Yes.
We had Melinda Fabian score a pretty important victory in that division.
Yeah. When Marc Goddard came off the fight, he said like this was really, really good, and I agree 100%. The skill level, the techniques, again, the heart, the pressure they put on. And Melinda, I think she last fought 2 years ago. Also, Erika didn't fight last year. So coming in for them, this was the first live show with us, and putting on such a great performance. I think that's impressive.
In her post-fight interview, Fabian called out Omaira Molina.
Oh, really?
For the
yeah. I didn't hear that, but yeah, we have to sit down and see what makes the most sense. But I think this makes the most sense.
Do you think we have to invent a championship for that division?
100%. So we hope Omaira is ready as soon as possible, and if not on the May event, then hopefully on the June event we want to do that fight.
Great. What other fights are we missing? Let's go from the top.
Shazaib?
Yeah. Let's talk about Shazaib Rind's win over Gabo Diaz, and maybe let's also talk about Goatshed's head coach Asim screaming slanders at both Gabo and his coach Mano.
Yeah.
And then Gabo spit on Goatshed's head coach.
Yeah, that was not good.
I got hit by the spit, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was not good. I mean, Asim is a guy who knows how to get into others' head. So he was working on that not only at the fight but over social media. Leading up to the fight, he said Gabo was a dirty fighter because of his last fight. So he made everything possible on his end to help his student, which makes sense. At the same time, there is, sometimes it is too much, and I think he did it too much, and that's why that happened. At the same time, I told him as well, the Gabo he shouldn't have done that, no matter like how hurt he was, and it's not good. That's something we don't want to see.
Probably the most Cobra Kai karate combat fight of all time.
Yeah, probably. And like you had all these Pakistani fans, and Shahzaib was really, really good. And like his build, he's so big to this division. We were talking with Andris, the matchmaker, and we said like this is a really good addition to the lightweights. He's bringing in new fans. He's now local in Miami. His team is good as well. Killers in that team. Asim need to calm it down a little bit, cool it down. But he's also a great coach, and but we have to be respectful to the other fighters as well. Especially when one thing people don't understand is that the pit is so intimate, it's so close that the fighters can hear everything. And like that's not always the case when you go to an MMA or a boxing tournament or event. And like, yeah, I mean, things like this sell fights, or at least it has the possibility to go viral. At the same time, he wasn't expecting to be spit in the face. So we will have to be respectful. This is a karate league. This is the best karate league in the world. But things happen. We're still in the fight business. So although we are a karate league, things happen in the fight business, and this is what we saw. So it is what it is.
I also want to mention, outside of the fighting, that this was probably one of the most star-studded, attended karate combat event. I mean, we had Chris Algieri, the great boxer, who once fought Manny Pacquiao, was here. We had, of course, you've already mentioned, the current UFC middleweight champion. Yeah. Thank you. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The New England Cartel was here, Calvin Kattar, Tyson Chartier, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. I mean, when the current UFC champion, who fights 1 week from now, decides to come here without us having to pay, with us having to push him, with us having to do anything special, that shows that how entertaining, how good this league is. People still sleep on karate combat. They shouldn't, because it is becoming a thing. And the same with the cartel. Rob Font is fighting next week. They were here to support Ross, but again, they didn't have to come. They wanted to come, and same with everybody else. Like my phone was ringing messages, give me tickets, and the same. Yeah, going back to Alex, his manager Joinha said, I always wanted to bring him here. He's also the manager of Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida, and a lot of other great fighters. And for some reason, we could never make it happen. And he said, now he can come. He's also managing Luis Rocha. So he said, Alex might want to come, but I don't think so, because it's 1 week out. And then 2 days later, he said, like, everybody want to come to the event.
And they did come.
They did come, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think we probably covered all the important ones.
I think so.
Do you have any particular fight that you really... I know we didn't cover all of them, that's okay, but is there one that we're missing?
I'd say the two that might be worth mentioning is Kenji Grion.
Okay, because he could be a contender eventually.
Yeah.
And James Vick, this was pretty big.
Because of his name. Okay. Let's do it. So let's start with Kenji. So Kenji Grion was like super menacing with his kicks.
Yes.
He kicks maybe harder than anyone.
Yeah, Kenji is one of the bigger guys in the division, and I actually used to compete the same time when he was coming up and became a world champion, and he was one of the best guys from the French national team, and the French national team is the best in the karate world when it comes to WKF. And we were expecting to see this when he enters the pit, and we saw this last time when he went against Gidakos, and again he was present. He's big, he's strong, and adjusting to the pit. So I think he's also a very good addition to the weight category.
And we also want to talk about James Vick getting his first win in karate combat.
Yeah. He did much better than last time. He felt much better during the fight week. After he weighed it in, he started smiling and he said he's gonna win this fight. And you know, it's important to know that he reached out to us that he doesn't think, or he don't think that he can make weight. And this was like a week before the fight, and he wanted to do catch weight, but we said no, that we trust that you can do it because you did it so many times. So, and he did, and then, you know, he showed up and he won that fight.
Great. Well, thank you, President Kovacs.
Yep.
Hang on. I'll just do it on audio so we have it. So thanks for being here, President Kovacs, and we're going to open up some media questions for you.
So you said Vic hit you up beforehand saying he might not be able to make weight, found a way to get it done. I actually saw him coming off the elevator, coming from weigh-ins, and like you said, he was all smiles, like super giddy, really just elated that he actually made the weight. Do you think there's any possibility of James maybe moving up to perhaps middleweight, and then you got a potential fight with Ross maybe?
I think that's early, and he doesn't really want to move up. He said it wasn't short notice when he accepted the fight, but he had I think 6 weeks, and he said like he likes to have 8 or 10 weeks before committing to a fight. I don't think he wants to move up, and I don't think he's yet ready for Ross as well.
In the co-main event, the Battle of the Brunos, really exciting. It seemed to really ignite a spark in the crowd. The audience was really into it. Everybody was into it.
Yeah, everybody loved it.
But do you think it should have gone to a fourth round? Or do you think Aziz maybe did enough in the first two to where he maybe should have been awarded the victory? Or do you think maybe the crowd played into it actually, and in a vacuum it wouldn't have gone to a fourth?
That's a great question. I thought that Bruno was really good, and also he was close.
Which Bruno?
Yes. Good question. Assis came out and he surprised Souza, who's been in many fights. He'd never been finished, and I think he was very close to being finished. And yeah, as I said, I thought that could be a 10-8 round, and if that was a 10-8 round, then it's difficult to give it a draw or a split score. But you know, like the crowd always helps the judges, although I guess they want to be neutral as possible. But as I said, this is a very intimate little space around the pit, and at the same time, Bruno Souza did really good at the third round. You could see that you could even argue that maybe 10-8 as well, because I don't know, Assis got tired, and maybe what played in is that at the second round, Souza was almost finished, and then he came back, and yeah, everybody wanted to see the fourth round. So, yeah, I think it's a good topic to discuss.
So, you know, I think it's safe to say that Bruno Souza is built for championship rounds.
Yeah.
He will come back. If well, you can't put them away, but you know, even trying, you're going to just deplete your own gas tank, and then you got to deal with them in the later rounds. And afterwards, you know, he's calling for a belt. Do you think that could be next for him, or do you think you want to maybe do something else with him before that, or what are your plans for him?
I don't know. I was like thinking that maybe he got dropped and he thought that this was a title fight and he wanted to have the belt already at the end of the fight. But no, just kidding. I don't know. We'll have to. There's a lot of good guys, but yeah, he's made for championship rounds. He did 6 rounds with Scrivers. That was one of the best fights in 2022. You know, we've got Scrivers, we've got Luis Hosha, we've got Gabriel Varga in that division, we've got now him up there. So, you know, it depends who is available. We'll see, but we wanna see the lightweight championship on the line, either in May or June.
One fight that wasn't mentioned was Robbie Lavoie and Damian Villa. Do you have any thoughts on that? Robbie Lavoie moving to 2-0, maybe working his way towards contention?
Yeah, could be possible. If not the next one, but if he wins another one, then for sure. He did adjustments from the first fight. He was good, but also I think Damian was really good. That's what I see with both of these guys. They are very high level. They're coming from a different discipline, Taekwondo and sports karate, and they were top of their game over there. And now you can see the transition here. But these guys are such a good athletes that their transition time is very, very short. And every fight they are just better and better. And no matter if they win or lose, they are better, because Damian was good, was better than at his last fight, I think. And Robbie, the same thing. He got better. He was strong. He got the W. So we'll see what's next for him as well.
And staying in the bantamweight division, the one fight that was missing from this card was the rematch between Owen Chelmia and Jesus Lopez. What are the plans with that? Is that still going to be intact? Is that still the next move given the circumstances, or is there any changes to be made there?
I don't know. We don't know yet. The fact that Jesus got transported to the hospital after his last fight and now before the fight, that's not very good. And he used to fight in the lightweight division before we introduced the bantamweights. So we'll have to talk to them. I don't know. It's early to say. But Chelmia is ready. He showed up. He was here. He made weight. And I just spoke to their team. He's going to get his participation fee. And they said he's ready for the next event or the one after or whenever, and to fight whoever. So we'll see.
This is new year, new venue. We're back in Miami. Talk to me about how you felt the event went, being in a new location and a new venue.
Yeah, it's always very hard, especially for us who's a startup league, going venue to venue, and not only we are doing so many other things what other leagues don't, like the virtual environment and you know, the whole entertainment aspect of the league. And it's always hard when we go to a new spot, and we had some technical difficulties. I think the set was good. We have to make some adjustments. Other than that, you know, like if we can get 10% better with every show, then we are on the right trajectory.
I noticed it seems like the events they're getting bigger, they're getting more and more traction, and I think, or at least in my personal opinion, one of you know, on top of world-class fighters, your production value is just head and shoulders above any other promotion, period, hands down. It's not even a close second.
Yeah.
I mean, the UFC, you'll see they'll start to bring in the nicer cameras for their announcements. And
Yeah.
it kind of looks like a video game cutscene. There's no continuity between the regular programming and those little intros. And it just doesn't, it's weird, and it's, as a consumer, it's kind of off-putting. But Karate Combat, from day one, production value has just been through the roof. So I mean, what is it that about Karate Combat that puts such an emphasis on that aspect?
I think that's as I always say, we want to be different and better, and when we started the league, that this is how we started. So, as you said, there, other leagues are trying things what we've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, and we've been doing a lot of development, and the production value was always really, really good. Even Joe Rogan and Masvidal on their podcast said that the set and the whole league is amazing, and they've seen some fights, some leagues, so that's good to hear from them. And we're always gonna put a lot of emphasis on this. We're also putting a lot of emphasis on becoming a decentralized league, and dropping our karate coin, karate token on May 10th, and then that's gonna be another level which no other league is doing.
I think that covers it, so thank you for your time, Matt.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks.